सुख करता दुःख हरता वार्ता विघ्नाची हो वार्ता विघ्नाची पूर्वी पूर्वी प्रेम कृपा जयाची सर्वांगी सुंदर उतिशे नूराची हो उतिशे नूराची प्रेमकी जगे मानुक्ता फळाची जय देव जय मंगल मूर्ती दर्शन मात्रे मन जय देव जय मंगल मूर्ति ओ श्री मंगल मूर्ति रत्नाखचिता फारा तुझ गौरी कुमरा चंदनाची उटी कुमकुम केशरा चंदनाची उटी कुमकुम केशरा हिरे जडिता मुकुट शोभा तोहारा झुणझुणती नूपुर चरणे घागरिया जय देव जय मंगल मूर्ति ओ श्री मंगल मूर्ति दर्शन मात्रे मन कामना पूर्ति लंबोदर पीतांबर परिवर वंदना सरसोंड वक्रतुंड त्रिनेना सरसोंड वक्रतुंड त्रिनेना आश्रमाचा वाटता हे सगना संकटी पावावे निर्वाणी रक्षावे गुरुवर वंदना जय देव जय मंगल मूर्ति ओ श्री मंगल मूर्ति दर्शन मात्रे मन कामना पूर्ति जय देव जय मंगल मूर्ति
As soon as Sahasrara was open, the whole atmosphere was filled with tremendous Chaitanya. And there was tremendous light in the sky. And the whole thing came on this earth as if a torrential rain or a waterfall with such a tremendous force as if I was unaware and got stupefied. The happening was so unexpected and so tremendous that I was stunned and I became completely silent at its.
A thousand blessings you give to us when you are in our sahasraras. A thousand flowers so beautiful you give when you are in our hearts. Thank you for all of this, for the peace, for the joy and the bliss. Thank you, Mother. A thousand starlights in the heavens above, you made them specially for all of us to understand a little bit of how great that you are. Thank you for all of this, for the peace, for the joy and the bliss. Thank you, Mother.
Hey, Srimati ji. We'll now just follow the way Srimati ji has taught us how to, from our Bhakagya and Sahasrara, how to clear our badas, Bhakagya and Sahasrara, and then also the eyes for our attention as we prepare for this wonderful Sahasrara Puja weekend. Let's follow this and then we'll do this together.
Dayaya Namah. Next to top of the head.
That is, we bow to our heart.
Om Bhurbhuva Swaha Shirase Swaha.
So start.
Then the back agnya. Om Bhurbhuva Swaha Shikayai Vashat.
Vashat is like this. That means you bring 2 fingers, bring it round and hit it hard on the Sahasrara.
Then
That is taking out the Bada. See, from here, take it out and put it on the Sahasrara, hit it hard. And this is the Samhara Shakti of Sri Krishna.
Om Bhurbhuva Swaha Kavachayaham.
Kavach. Kavach is bandhan.
Then Om Bhurbhuva Swaha Netrayaya Vashat.
See. Eyes are cleansed. Must have clean eyes. Again, with the clean eyes, you again go back at the Agya, at the back. And put it back.
Om Bhurbhuva Swaha.
So if I'll put it back on once more. And we will see, the first one is from the Bhakagya. Srimataji's hand is coming over her left ear. So we're going clockwise from the Bhakagya. Just rotate a bit on the Sahasrara and hit our Sahasrara on the hand with Sri Krishna, the 2 fingers of Christ. And for the eyes, we go from the right eye, left eye, and anti-clockwise. I'll play it again.
Bring it round and hit it hard on the Sahasrara.
Then
That is taking out the Bada. See, from here, take it out and put it on the Sahasrara, hit it hard. And this is the Samhara Shakti of Sri Krishna.
Om Bhurbhuva Swaha Kavachayaham.
Kavach. Kavach is bandhan.
Then Om Bhurbhuva Swaha Netrayaya Vashat.
See. Eyes are cleansed. Must have clean eyes. Again, with the clean eyes, you again go back at the Agya, at the back. And put it back.
So with our 2 fingers, forgive me, I meant to say Krishna, Shri Krishna. So let's go together from our Bhakagya. We come clockwise, just turn on the Sahasrara and hit our palms. Let's do that a couple of times and clear our any badas. And then the other way around from the right eye, left eye, going anti-clockwise and hit the palm again. And it just clears our eyes. And we do this whenever, at any time, we remember, and it continuously helps us clear the badas. So let's do the Sahasrara, the Bhakagya Sahasrara, a couple of times. And symbolically, let's put attention that we're doing it for ourselves, but also for all our collectives, wherever we are, that we may all be one in the Sahasrara. And with the attention and the vibrations already flowing so beautifully, let's listen to our Holy Mother.
Today, it's a great day for all of us, the seekers, that the last work of the Divine, of opening the last center in the great primordial being was done on 5th of May 1970. It is the greatest event of all the spiritual happenings of the universe. It was done with very great care and great adjustments. It is not in the limits of human understanding how things are worked in the heavens. It is your fortune and God's love that has worked out this wondrous event. Without this happening, there could not have been a possibility to give mass realization. One could have done it for 1 or 2 persons here and there, but to give such a mass awakening could not have been possible. As you know, in the Sahasrara, there are the seats of the 7 main chakras. There are 1,000 nadis, or as they call it, frames, and they all have each 16,000 stops. Every nadi deals with a particular type of a person, and in the permutations and combinations of all these nadis, human beings are looked after. As soon as Sahasrara was opened, the whole atmosphere was filled with tremendous Chaitanya. And there was tremendous light in the sky. And the whole thing came on this earth as if a torrential rain or a waterfall.
Et tout ce processus cosmique se manifesta sur la Terre comme si une pluie torrentielle ou une cascade.
With such a tremendous force, as if I was unaware, got stupefied. The happening was so unexpected and so tremendous that I was stunned and I became completely silent. Gradually, I saw the primordial Kundalini rising like a big furnace, and the furnace was very silent but burning appearance it had, as if you heat up some metal and it has many colors. In the same way, the Kundalini showed up like a huge furnace, you can say, of a furnace which is like a tunnel. When you see these plants you have for coal burning.
Et donc, j'ai...
And it stretched like a telescope, one after another came out, like that. And the deities came and sat on their seats.
on their golden seats. And then they lifted the whole of the head like a big dome and opened. And then this torrential rain completely drenched me. And I started seeing all that and got lost into the joy. It's like an artist seeing its own creation fulfilled. I felt the joy of great fulfillment. After coming out of that beautiful experience, I looked around and I saw human beings so blind. Then I became absolutely silent. Then I desired that I should get the cups to fill this nectar. But I saw all stones. Sastara is the most beautiful part of yogi. It is a big lotus with 1,000 petals of different colors, appearing like inflated flames. It is a thing which is seen by many people, but to see it over that torrential rain was like these flames becoming a fountain of colors and of fragrance. When you think of a flower pouring its color and its fragrance around, people have written very little about Sastara, because whatever they have seen is from outside, and it's not possible for them to go from inside. Even if you reach from inside, if the whole Sastara is not opened out, you cannot see its beauty, because when it is closed, the whole of it, the total, then you just pass through a little aperture and get out. You just imagine a huge big petal, 1,000 petal lotus, and you are sitting inside or in the corona and looking at all these petals, all very beautifully colored and fragrant and pulsating with the bliss and the joy. To remain in on that position is the ideal situation. But then, after the silence, you are filled with tremendous excitement and love. And you are drawn out. People who haven't yet known what is having eyes, and thus you try to put your attention to the Sastara of millions of people. And then you start seeing the problems that exist in the Sastara. And even if you desire to open Sastara, which is a very difficult thing, because the channelizing from the divine to human beings has to be through human beings. The power could be with you, but it has to be channelized through human element. All my life I had not known many realized souls. How to get them? How to work it out? So I started looking out for people. And I met one old lady of 70 years. And she was very perturbed about something very close. And when she came to me, she felt very peaceful. Her Sastara was very worn out. And in my company, she would think of something else, not of the spirit. And her brain would be covered with clouds and darkness. Again and again I had to enlighten her, but she did not get her realization. Most of the people who came to me in the beginning came for getting cured. This capacity I had from childhood. And I could give also realization to few people before. But they had to be very earnest. I didn't meet anyone of that quality. Because I was not living in the forest. I was living as a normal human being among other normal human beings. And they were not that earnest, that art. And I had to do this work among them. How to talk to them about the real world that exists and the false in which they live. One lady, the first one who got realization, just came to see me because she was possessed with the idea of seeking, she thought. And it worked in her. That was not the happiest day. Because she's one of those who get individually realization. With this great happening, many should get at a time. We had a program in Dodi in 70. And there, first, one gentleman got realization. Next day, there were negative forces active, morning time. And they started talking of favoritism. I could see in the atmosphere the vibrations were very loud. In the evening, I took up a very strong attack. I was in a great fear. I never gone into such a feeling before. And I lashed out. Surprisingly, 12 of them got realization. That was the greatest moment. Then many got one by one. 3 of them were traveling back, got realization suddenly in the train they fell in vibration. So the mass revolution started. Sahasrara is your awareness. When it is enlightened, you get into the technique of the divine. Now there are 2 techniques, the technique of the divine and the technique that you follow. You cannot act as divine, but you can use the divine power and maneuver it. For example, divine looks after all the universal happenings. Every minutest particle is controlled by divine. When your Sahasrara opens out and your Kundalini touches the continental bone, sort of igniting force is ready in your Sahasrara. And as soon as the fontanel bone area opens up through the Brahmarandra, the grace of your spirit ignites that igniting. And your nadis get enlightened. Not all of them, quite a lot of them. Not all the length, but quite the peripheries. That's how you get your enlightenment. So many things happen because also of your 7 centers being in the Sahasrara. With the light, you see there is a 2 positions. I mean, you do not see, but it works in your conscious mind. Your conscious mind feels that integration within it. The rationality which is separated from the heart becomes one with the heart. It becomes one with your attention. Wherever your attention goes, you act in a collective way. All the activities of your attention are best. The attention itself is effective. Your attention is very important. Your desires are even more important. Because it is such an integrated thing, your desires and your attention become one. Whatever is good for the spirit, you desire, and your attention goes to things whichever is emitting the spiritual power. The priorities change very fast. Those people who are primitive, are not evolved, may not find that happen. But those who are over mentally developed, they actually have an attention which they try to test. They first want to see how to raise the Kundalini. They want to see that it is logical. For a balanced person, there is no question. We have some people like that. They just became and they never questioned. They just settled down. They are innocent. They are intelligent about all their spiritual. But whatever may be the defect and the quality can be corrected through your sahasrara.
À travers votre sahasrara.
First of all, you have to put down your ego, because if ego is there, it presses the sahasrara. Also the superego must be reduced, because it also presses the sahasrara and gives pain. So to keep the sahasrara in its healthy state, one has to understand that the priorities are to be changed. Some people take time, so they have to put some deliberate effort. There are many books, if you read them, they suggest anti-God activity. An enlightened sahasrara doesn't like it. It closes back. That's like a poison. It doesn't like any poisonous thought to come in. If you go about with the poison, then it again closes. In the same way, the people who are hot-tempered, very much hot-tempered, and all other problems of ego, if they try to suppress the sahasrara, most of the sahasrara starts closing. Those people who have had conditioning from wrong gurus and wrong books, from wrong parents maybe, from a wrong country, from a wrong livelihood, also do not allow the sahasrara to grow in its healthy way. It is only the sahasrara has to grow, not the spirit. The more sensitive the sahasrara is, the more it receives the spiritual qualities of the spirit. Actually, the peace is felt in the sahasrara. The bliss is also felt in the sahasrara, because that is the brain, and the brain is the epitome of our nervous system, central nervous system, or consciousness itself.
Car le sahasrara est dans notre cerveau, et le cerveau est le produit fini de notre évolution, de notre conscience.
So only merely by opening sahasrara, the work is not done. We have to have more and more channels. We will act on the nadis with their different powers, and we can work it out in a proper systematic manner. But those people who indulge into wasteful habits after realization, obstruct the flow of the nadis, are very harmful for the nirada. Such people should really do Sahaja Yoga and spare, or such people should be asked to leave, and one should sever relations with such people who is standing against such a great work of the divine. The one who wants to develop sahasrara should know that he should not have bad company, but always have the company of the other servants. He should not have his own holidays and own time, but most of the time he should spend in the company of other servants. After the sahasrara, when you are above sahasrara, then you can see that it is very important that all these nadis must be kept together, and all the centers and the deities must be kept awakened and integrated. This can be done even with the conscious effort. By watching yourself, you will start seeing your ego and your superego. You'll be able to see how you cheat yourself and you are dishonest to yourself. How you are convincing yourself that you are very good. How you are enjoying ego trip. Sahaja Yoga is for people who are spirits. So all other things must drop off. All misidentifications must be dropped off. One can do it through conscious mind, as I said, that you can really correct yourself Because after realization, whatever you desire becomes a part of the divine desire. And whatever you do becomes a part of the divine action. So one has to remember that with conscious effort, we can find out ourselves and see if we are really honest about it. If one is honest, one can see that connectivity is the only way to expand your personal. For that, tolerance is needed, wisdom is needed, and stature is needed of a prophet. Which you are, and you should talk like a prophet. Actually, you have to educate yourself. How does a prophet speak? How does a prophet speak? This is not insincere or acting, because now you are awakened. When you are not awakened, then whatever you do like this is artificial. Sastara is the controlling, guiding, evolving force. And so to keep it absolutely ready for growth and expansion, one has to watch one's own growth. Never justify your wrongdoings. If you start justifying, you are actually thinking about it. We have no time to think about oneself. We have to think of others, because others are also in your brain. And when you start thinking of others, talking to them about the resurrection, your sastara will definitely increase in its size and in its sensibility. The sensitivity will also come. The depth will also come. It is just like a tree when it grows, its roots spread. So you have to come out of your shells and spread your wings. All small things of mind must be given. You have to live like a very huge, big personality, which has to give support, guidance, and awakening to thousands. If the Sastare in France establishes a new dynamism in this country, I'm sure that it will catch up to the thought of the people. It will resound into their brains. Their unconscious are transmitted into their brains. And they will start thinking afresh. Now new breakthroughs will take, and people will start going towards logical. They'll come to right conclusion. They'll drop out all that is useless and wasteful. So Sara is the throne for the spirit, and the bigger is the king, the bigger is the throne. The way you treat your spirit is expressed through the way you have your samskara. As it is the 7 chakras seated in samskara, you become the master of all 7 chakras. And that's how you can realize, you can give realization. And then you can become a subtle being. Through your conscious effort, you can enter into the beings of others and ways that you have never entered. Enlightenment of the sastara also gives you a new sight to see all the sukshmas, all the subtle things in the atmosphere. When you start developing higher and higher, you can see the vibrations as lights around you. You may not have been any interest in many things, but you will be amazed how you become the master of so many things. As if your brain is materializing whatever you have been designed. So this is what is Krishna promised, who is actually the Virata. So you become the master of your brain, because actually this Spirit is the master of the brain. The more you start bringing spirit into your attention, the more the Sahasrara increases in its size. And the light of that expands and it becomes more powerful Sahajyogi. This is the greatest thing also for God Almighty to say, see that this has happened so that He can, for the time being, postpone His anger and wrath, so that He can forgive human beings for their mistakes, their obstinacy and childish pranks. Let the man rise to see the glory and the greatness of his Father. Let him have so much of power that he can bear the compassion of God.
Que l'homme s'élève afin qu'il ait les grands pouvoirs de porter et répandre la compassion divine.
Let the Sahasrara develop into such dimensions that it can execute the working of the divine through his own conscious mind. The Sahasrara has one mantra, that is Nirmala. You must keep it clean and pure. That is what is your job. Try to keep it pure. And this will definitely mark another step, another accelerated jump into a new dimension of many more human beings. It's a very great pleasure to be in Paris today, so that the whole world attention should be on Paris, on France, on this country which is really being crushed, neglected by all the deities, because human beings really went very wrong. Let all the deities be settled down in this country, because this is the attention, and attention, whatever attention we pay, is important to us through Sahasrara. So the Sahasrara of France will be opened out, so the attention of France should be directed to spirit and towards the eternal life. It is very important country. That's why I decided to have a day celebration. Now the responsibility on the French surgeries is much greater. They have to change their methods and start. They should be very mild, gentle and healthy people. But at the same time, they should be very strong surgeons, so that when others see them, find that superiority. Before this was starting, we have had such a successful session. I am very happy about it. May God bless you. Now I bless all the other centers who have prayed and are praying. Give them a very developed Sahasrara, an enlightened one that will separate them from their small shell. Let them expand so much that they become one.
Qu'ils deviennent un.
One with the whole.
Que Dieu vous bénisse.
Let's just be in silence for a little while. Mataji has spoken of Sahasrara and the points above the Sahasrara. So today, before we go into the meditation above the Sahasrara, I'll just read a translation of this Hindi talk on Amrita from 1983 in Mumbai. But the 14th birthday is very important because man lives at 14 levels, and the day he crosses over the 14th level, he becomes a complete Sahaja Yogi. Therefore, today, Sahaja Yoga has also become Sahaja Yogi. Like this, God has created 14 levels within us. If you simply count them, then you know that there are 7 chakras within us. Besides these, there are 2 more chakras about which you do not talk much. They are the moon chakra, Lalita, and sun chakra, Shri. Then there is the Hamsa chakra. Thus, there are 3 more. 7 plus 3 make 10. Then there are 4 chakras above the Sahasrara. And about these chakras also, I have told you. Ardha Bindu, Bindu, Valaya, and Pradakshina. These are the 4. After coming to Sahaja Yoga and after your Sahasrara has opened, you have to pass through these 4 chakras, Ardha Bindu, Bindu, Valaya, and Pradakshina. After passing through these 4 chakras only, can you say that you have become a Sahaja Yogi. And if you see from another angle, we have to cross 14 stages to reach up to Sahasrara. If you divide them, then there are 7 chakras on the Ida Nadi and 7 on the Pingla. Those, if you're interested in reading the translation or even those who understand Hindi, this is 1983, Sahasrara Puja, Mumbai. So let's follow that meditation.
We go into meditation now. Please close your eyes. Take a deep breath in and hold and breathe out and hold and breathe in. As we breathe in, feel it in our Sahasrara. We feel every breath high up in our Sahasrara. With every breath, we go higher and higher. Gently keep breathing, slowing down your breath. Shri Mataji, we desire the silence of Sahasrara and complete inner peace. We continue slowing down our breath. Let us rotate our attention clockwise above our Sahasrara to first point, Shri Ardha Bindu. breathing slows down and our silence grows. We slowly go up to second point, Sri Bindu. And we go up even higher to third point, Sri Valaya. Now our breathing is even slower and silence is even deeper. We rotate even higher to the fourth point, Pradakshina. And we gently start rotating down clockwise, bringing down the grace of Divine Ocean to Sri Valaya. And we go down to Sri Bindu. Down to Sri Adabindu. We come back gently to Sahasrara with the power of Sri Mataji's grace. Like gentle ice, our Sahasrara becomes cool. We go further down to Agya. Down to Hamza. We continue to rotate our attention down. We roll back our tongue towards the palate, not touching, and feel the bliss coming down to Vishuddhi. Now we expand our attention to Sri Lalita Chakra, Shushumna, and Sri Chakra. Nir, Ma, La. Anahat, Nabi, Svadhisthana, Muladhara. We feel divine bliss flowing throughout. As we bring our attention back up Shushumna to our heart and our Sahasrara, where we see our Holy Mother's lotus feet, where we desire our Holy Mother's lotus feet to be forevermore. We feel the grace and the bliss showering us within our subtle system and around our physical bodies, all the way under our feet. We slowly open our eyes and look at Sri Mataji. Jai Sri Mataji. We check our vibrations above our Sahasrara, swapping our hands and checking on the left and on the right. Sri Mataji, please bless our pure desire to rise individually and collectively to the 14th level and to make us your absolute yogis. Jai Sri Mataji.
Let's stay in silent meditation for a while. Thank you, Srimataji, again and again. Our dear family, we can continue to meditate with some music. And we also want to share on Monday, Sahasrara Day, on this platform at 3 p.m. UK time. We'll be streaming live meditation from Stonehenge, the Sahasrara of UK, awakening the ley lines and the nadis of Sri Bhumi Devi. All attention from our global family will be a blessing. Jai Shri Mataji.